The large viewing window on the Earth space station showed the stars. Commander Samantha Kelly stood with her hands behind her back, watching the empty space where the alien ship would soon appear. Her heart beat fast, but her face stayed calm. Today would change human history forever. "Any sign of them yet?" asked Dr. Alan Wright as he joined her by the window. The thin man with round glasses was Earth's best alien language expert. "Not yet," said Samantha, "but they will be here soon." Lieutenant Richard Pearson walked up on her other side. His hand stayed close to his weapon. "I don't like this. Why did they pick a meeting spot so close to Earth?" Samantha understood his worry. "That's why you're here, Lieutenant. To watch for trouble." A flash of blue light cut through space as a hole seemed to open between the stars. A ship came through, bigger than anything humans had ever built. It was dark gray with glowing purple lines across its hull. The ship was as big as a small city. "They're here," whispered Dr. Wright, his eyes wide. The station's radio came to life. "Earth Station, prepare to receive Imperial delegates." 20 minutes later, Samantha stood in the station's meeting room. The doors slid open, and she got her first look at members of the Galactic Empire. The aliens walked in with sure steps. Most looked like guards, with hard armor and weapons at their sides. But the one in front was clearly the leader. He stood nearly 8 feet tall with green-gray scales covering his body. His eyes were yellow with thin black lines instead of round pupils. A row of small spikes ran from his head down his back. "I am Imperial Overseer Dralfax," the reptilian being said in perfect English. "I speak for the Galactic Empire, ruler of 12,000 star systems." Samantha stepped forward. "I am Commander Samantha Kelly of Earth's Defense Force. With me are Dr. Alan Wright and Lieutenant Richard Pearson. We welcome you to Earth." Dralfax's mouth curved in what might have been a smile, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Yes, Earth, a planet we have watched for some time." The meeting started well enough. They talked about Earth's recent space travel achievements and the many alien races in the Empire. Dr. Wright asked excited questions about alien languages. Even Lieutenant Pearson seemed to relax a little. Then the talk turned to Earth's place in the galaxy. "Your world has many valuable resources," said Dralfax. "The Empire has need of them. Earth will be classified as a resource world, effective immediately." The room went quiet. Samantha frowned. "What exactly does that mean?" "It means your planet will supply raw materials for Imperial needs. Humans will be allowed to remain, of course. Many will find work in the new mining operations." "Mining operations?" Samantha shook her head. "I think there's a misunderstanding. We are looking for peaceful trade between equals, not." Dralfax laughed, a strange hissing sound. "Equals? Your species has barely left its home system. The Empire has ruled the galaxy for 5,000 years. Earth is a sovereign world," Samantha said firmly. "We will choose our own path." "Perhaps I was not clear," said Dralfax. His voice turned cold. "This is not a negotiation." He lifted his arm and touched a device on his wrist. A screen on the wall came to life, showing a view of Earth from space. As they watched, large shapes appeared around the planet, warships that had been hidden. 12 Imperial warships now orbit your world," said Dralfax. "Each one could reduce your largest cities to ash. You have 24 hours to accept Imperial authority." Lieutenant Pearson's hand moved to his gun, but Samantha gave him a small shake of her head. They were outmatched here. "We will take your message to Earth's leaders," she said carefully. "Good." Dralfax turned to leave. 24 hours, Commander. Then we will show you how the Empire deals with worlds that resist." The United Earth Council room was filled with worried voices. Leaders from all major nations sat around a large round table. On screens above them, the 12 Imperial warships could be seen orbiting Earth. President Olivia Martinez stood up, and the room fell quiet. "We have less than 20 hours before the Empire expects our surrender," she said. Her voice was strong despite the dark circles under her eyes. "What choice do we have?" asked one of the council members. Their ships could destroy our cities in minutes. Commander Samantha Kelly stepped forward from where she had been standing at the side of the room. Sir, with respect, surrender is not our only option. You saw their ships, Commander, another council member said. We can't fight that kind of power. President Martinez raised her hand for quiet. Actually, we might be able to. She pressed a button, and a secure door at the back of the room opened. An older woman with gray hair pulled back in a tight bun walked in. She moved slowly, but her eyes were sharp and clear. This is Dr. Catherine Sanders, said President Martinez. Most of you won't know her name because her work has been top secret for 15 years. Dr. Sanders nodded to the room. Mr. President, members of the council, for the past decade and a half, I have been working on a defense system based on gravitational field manipulation. She tapped a tablet, and the screens changed to show pictures of a large round device. This prototype can create a localized distortion in spacetime, she explained. In simple terms, it can disable shields and propulsion systems of any ship caught in its field. The council members looked at each other with new hope in their eyes. Will it work against the Imperial ships? Asked Samantha. In theory, Dr. Sanders replied. But we've never tested it against advanced alien technology. President Martinez nodded. It's not our only secret weapon. She pressed another button on her console. A new face appeared on the screens, a man with a short beard wearing a military uniform. This is Captain William Blackwood of the U.S. Defiant. The Defiant isn't on any fleet roster, said one of the military leaders, looking confused. Because it doesn't officially exist, President Martinez answered. The Defiant was built using technology we recovered from an alien crash site in Antarctica 50 years ago. Captain Blackwood spoke from the screen. The Defiant is smaller than the Imperial warships, but it has advanced shielding and weapons systems that might surprise them. The council talked for hours about different plans. Some wanted to try to negotiate. Others thought they should prepare for evacuation of major cities. But in the end, President Martinez made the final decision. We will not surrender, she said firmly. Earth has faced threats before. We have always fought for our freedom. She stood up straight, her eyes moving from face to face in the room. I propose we send the Empire a very clear message, a declaration that Imperial ships are no longer welcome in our solar system. They'll laugh at us, someone said. Let them laugh, President Martinez answered. While they're laughing, we'll be preparing our defense. She turned to Dr. Sanders. How soon can your device be ready? It's ready now, the old scientist said. We just need to move it into position. And the Defiant? The President asked Captain Blackwood. Standing by, Madam President, he replied. My crew is ready. The President nodded. Then let's send our message to the Empire. An hour later, Commander Samantha Kelly stood before a camera. Her message would be sent directly to the Imperial fleet. Attention Imperial Overseer Dralfax, she said, her voice strong and clear. I bring a message from the United Earth Council. Earth declares its complete independence from the Galactic Empire. All Imperial ships are ordered to leave our solar system immediately. She paused, then added, This is not a request. This is a declaration. In his command ship, Dralfax received the message. He watched it twice, then began to laugh. The humans were either very brave or very foolish. Either way, they would soon learn what happened to worlds that defied the Empire. What Dralfax didn't know was that the humans were neither brave nor foolish. They were ready. The 24 hours were up. On Earth, people looked up at the sky with fear. Many had left the cities after the government warnings, but millions still remained. In his command ship, Dralfax watched the main view screen with cold yellow eyes. The humans have made their choice, he said to his officers. Begin the attack. Target their largest cities first. The Imperial ships moved into position around Earth. Their weapons began to glow with energy. Deep below the Nevada desert, Dr. Catherine Sanders stood in a large control room. Around her, dozens of engineers and scientists worked at their stations. At the center of the room was a model of Earth with 12 red dots showing the positions of the Imperial ships. "The enemy ships are powering up weapons," called out one of the technicians. Dr. Sanders took a deep breath. "Start the gravitational displacement array," she ordered. The floor hummed as 3 nuclear reactors came to life. Power flowed into the massive machine that Dr. Sanders had worked on for 15 years. Power at 60%, 70, 80. Above them, the first Imperial shots hit Earth. A city in Asia was struck by energy beams. Buildings fell and fires spread. Around the world, similar attacks began. "Power at maximum," shouted the technician. "Target the Imperial flagship," said Dr. Sanders. "Activate the array." She pressed a large red button. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the model of Earth showed a blue wave spreading out from their location. In space, an invisible field of distorted gravity shot toward the largest Imperial ship. The field hit the ship and wrapped around it. The ship's purple shields flickered and died. Ralph Fax felt his ship shake. Warning alarms sounded throughout the bridge. "What's happening?" he demanded. "Our shields are down." An officer replied, panic in his voice. "Something is interfering with our systems." Just then, another ship appeared on their screens. It was much smaller than the Imperial vessels, but moving very fast. On the bridge of the U.S. Defiant, Captain William Blackwood gripped his command chair. "Target locked," said his weapons officer. "Fire the quantum device," ordered Blackwood. The Defiant shot forward, releasing a small object toward the Imperial flagship. The object attached to the larger ship's hull and began to glow. "Get us out of here," Blackwood told his pilot. "Maximum speed." The Defiant turned sharply and raced away from the Imperial ship. On the flagship's bridge, Dralfax saw the warning too late. "What is that device?" he began to ask. But he never finished his question. The quantum entanglement device linked with the ship's power core. Energy feeds crossed and reversed. The massive ship began to collapse from within. In a brilliant flash of light, the Imperial flagship imploded. The force of the collapse damaged 2 nearby Imperial ships, knocking out their weapons. On Earth, people watched in amazement as a new star seemed to briefly appear in the sky. Then they cheered as they realized what had happened. The remaining Imperial ships moved away from Earth, retreating to a position beyond the moon. Dralfax, who had escaped to a secondary command ship before his flagship was destroyed, could not believe what had happened. "How?" he demanded. "How could primitive humans have such weapons?" "We don't know, Overseer," said one of his officers, "but they have destroyed our flagship and damaged 2 cruisers." Dralfax's scaled skin darkened with anger. "Regroup the fleet," he ordered. "We need to rethink our approach." He looked at the blue-green planet on his view screen. The humans were far more dangerous than the Empire had believed. This would not be the easy conquest he had expected. Back in the Nevada facility, Dr. Sanders watched the Imperial ships retreat. She allowed herself a small smile. "It worked," she said softly. But she knew this was only the beginning. The Empire would be back, and with more ships next time. The first battle had been won. But the war for Earth had just started. Commander Samantha Kelly walked quickly through the underground base. Earth's unexpected victory had given everyone hope, but she knew the Empire would return with more ships. She entered a secure room where President Martinez was waiting. "Commander, we have a situation," the President said. A screen on the wall showed a small ship approaching Earth. It was not an Imperial design. "It's requesting to land," President Martinez explained. "They say they want to help us." Samantha frowned. "It could be a trap." "Maybe, but we need allies." The President nodded to a guard who opened a side door. A tall, slender figure walked in. The alien had pale blue skin and large, dark eyes. Long white hair fell over its shoulders. "This is Ambassador Kelshar of the Larisian people," President Martinez said. The alien bowed slightly. "I come with information that may help Earth survive." Your people are part of the Empire? Samantha asked. Yes, Kelshur replied, but not by choice. Many worlds in the Empire were conquered, like the Empire plans to do to Earth. The alien's eyes seemed to show sadness. My people have secret contacts with other oppressed worlds. We have waited centuries for someone to successfully fight back against the Empire. What can you tell us about their weaknesses? President Martinez asked. Their greatest strength is their quantum communication network, Kelshur explained. It lets their ships talk to each other instantly, no matter the distance. This allows them to attack together perfectly. If we could disrupt that network, Samantha began. Their fleet would be in chaos, Kelshur finished. Meanwhile, Dr. Sanders was working with another scientist in her lab. Dr. Eric Johnson was younger than her, with dark skin and quick hands that moved over computer keys. If we understand how their communication works, Dr. Johnson said, we might be able to create interference. Dr. Sanders nodded, but we need more data from their ships. The door opened, and Lieutenant Richard Pearson walked in. Then let's get that data, he said. He showed them images of a damaged Imperial ship still floating in Earth orbit after the battle. That ship is dead in space, Pearson explained. No power, minimal life support, but its computers might still work. You want to board it? Dr. Sanders asked, eyes wide. Yes, we need a small team. In and out quickly, before the Empire notices. President Martinez approved the mission after hearing Kelshur's information. Lieutenant Pearson would lead the team. With him would go Lisa Rodriguez, who knew how to work with computers, and Daniel Clark, an engineer who could help them get inside the ship. This is very dangerous, Samantha told them before they left, but it might be our only chance. The team left Earth in a small, stealthy ship. They approached the damaged Imperial vessel carefully, watching for any signs of activity. No movement, said Lisa as she scanned the ship. Life support is minimal. There might be survivors inside. We go in, get the data, and get out, Pearson reminded them. Try not to engage any survivors. They found a damaged airlock and used special tools to open it. Inside, the Imperial ship was dark, with only emergency lights working. The air was thin but breathable. This way to the bridge, Daniel said, looking at a device Kelshur had given them that showed the ship's layout. They moved quietly through the halls. Twice they had to hide from Imperial crew members who were trying to repair systems. Finally, they'd reached the bridge. It was empty except for damaged equipment. Here, Lisa said, pointing to a console that still had some power. This should have the communication systems. She connected her device to the alien computer. I need a few minutes to download their protocols. Suddenly, they heard a noise behind them. All three turned, weapons ready. A smaller alien stood in the doorway. It was not like Dralfax or Kelshur. This one had 4 arms and large insect-like eyes. Don't move, Pearson warned the alien. I am not your enemy. The alien said in a clicking voice. I am Vex Taylor, communications officer, and I might be able to help you defeat the Empire. Lieutenant Pearson kept his weapon pointed at the alien. Why would you help us? He asked. The 4-armed alien Vex Taylor stepped forward slowly. My people, the Zextani, have been slaves of the Empire for 300 years. We are forced to work on their ships. How do we know this isn't a trick? Lisa Rodriguez asked. Vex Taylor's insect-like eyes blinked. The Empire killed half my family when they took my world. I have no love for them. The alien looked at their device. You want to know about their communications. I can give you more than that. Daniel Clark lowered his weapon first. We need to hurry. The Empire could check on this ship any time. Pearson finally nodded. Show us what you know. Vex Taylor moved to the console, and his 4 hands worked quickly over the controls. The Empire's ships talk to each other through quantum links, but there is a pattern to the signals. The alien downloaded information to Lisa's device. This shows their shield frequencies too. All Imperial ships use the same patterns. Why are you telling us their weaknesses? Pearson asked, still suspicious. Because rumors have spread through the Empire about Earth's resistance, Vex Teller said. Many enslaved worlds are watching. If you succeed, others might fight too. A loud alarm suddenly started. Red lights flashed in the bridge. They've detected us, Daniel said, checking his scanner. An Imperial patrol ship is coming this way. Take me with you, Vex Teller said quickly. If you leave me, they will know I helped you. Pearson made a fast decision. Let's go. All of us. They ran through the dark halls of the damaged ship. Behind them, they could hear Imperial troops boarding from another airlock. This way, Vex Teller pointed to a small maintenance passage. It leads to where your ship is docked. They squeezed through the narrow tunnel, hearing shouts behind them. Finally, they reached their ship and jumped inside. Daniel started the engines as Pearson sealed the airlock door. Go, go. Their small ship pulled away just as Imperial soldiers reached the damaged airlock. Energy blasts hit their hull, but they were already moving fast toward Earth. Back on Earth, Dr. Sanders and Dr. Johnson worked with the stolen information and Vex Teller's help. They built a device that could disrupt the Imperial quantum communications. Will it work? President Martinez asked as she looked at the small machine. In theory, Dr. Sanders said, but we can only test it when the Empire attacks again. They didn't wait long. Within 2 days, the Imperial fleet returned. This time, there were 20 ships instead of 12. In orbit around the moon, Dralthax prepared his revenge. Begin the attack. No mercy this time. The Imperial fleet moved toward Earth in perfect formation. Their weapons powered up. Captain William Blackwood watched from the bridge of the U.S. Defiant. All ships ready, he reported to Earth Command. On Earth, President Martinez gave the order. Activate the disruptor. Dr. Sanders pressed the button. The device hummed loudly and sent invisible waves into space. On the Imperial ships, chaos broke out. Their screens went blank. The quantum link that connected them failed. What's happening? Dralthax shouted as his ship's systems flickered. Communications are down, an officer reported. We can only use old radio signals now. There will be delays between ships. Dralthax hissed in anger. Continue the attack. But without their perfect coordination, the Imperial ships fell into confusion. Some moved too fast, others too slow. Captain Blackwood saw his chance. All Earth ships target their shield weak points, the ones Vex Teller showed us. Earth's small fleet moved in. They were few, but they knew exactly where to hit the Imperial ships. Their weapons struck at specific points where the shields were weakest. 3 Imperial ships exploded as their engines failed. Several others lost weapons or propulsion. For the first time, Dralthax felt fear. These humans were not just lucky. They knew too much about Imperial technology. Pull back, he ordered. Regroup at the far side of the moon. As the Imperial fleet retreated again, cheers filled Earth's command center. But President Martinez stayed serious. We hurt them, she said, but they still have more ships and better weapons. This isn't over. Samantha Kelly nodded. They'll be back. And next time, they'll be really angry. Dralthax smashed his fist against the wall of his new command ship. Scales fell from his hand, but he didn't care. Twice now, the humans had made him look weak. The Empire did not accept failure. Overseer, one of his officers, said carefully, "We have lost 7 ships. Perhaps we should request reinforcements from the Imperial homeworld." No. Dralthax's yellow eyes glowed with anger. If I ask for help, they will replace me. I will not lose my position because of these primitive humans. He walked to the view screen and looked at the blue planet. If we can't take Earth intact, then we will make them surrender through fear. What are your orders? The officer asked. Position our remaining ships to target all major human cities at once, Dralthax said, and send a message to their leaders. On Earth, President Martinez and her advisors were celebrating their second victory when the message came in. Displaying on main screen, an operator said. Dralfax's scaled face appeared. People of Earth, your resistance has been noted. It changes nothing. The Empire has ruled the galaxy for 5,000 years. We will continue to rule long after your species is forgotten. The alien's voice became colder. My ships are now positioned to destroy every major population center on your world. Surrender immediately, or watch your civilization burn. The screen changed to show a small island in the Pacific Ocean. Without warning, a beam of energy struck it from space. The island disappeared in fire and smoke. A massive wave spread outward from where it had been. That was just a demonstration, Dralfax continued when his face returned to the screen. You have 1 hour to surrender. There will be no more warnings. The screen went black. My God, someone whispered. That island had thousands of people on it. The tsunami will hit coastal areas in the next few hours, another advisor said. We need to evacuate. President Martinez looked at Commander Kelly. What options do we have? Our defenses are nearly exhausted, Samantha admitted. We can't protect every city at once. What about the Defiant? The president asked. We could attempt a direct assault on Dralfax's command ship, Captain Blackwood said from a video link. But it would be a one-way mission. We wouldn't survive. The room fell silent. Sacrifice the Defiant and her crew or watch Earth's cities burn. There might be another way, said Ambassador Kalshar, who had been quiet until now. All eyes turned to the blue-skinned alien. The Empire's actions against Earth violate our oldest laws, Kalshar explained. To destroy civilian populations is forbidden except in cases of rebellion. Earth is not part of the Empire, so these attacks are illegal. That doesn't seem to bother Dralfax, Samantha pointed out. Because he believes no one will know, Kalshar replied. If evidence of these violations could be sent to the Imperial Council, they would be forced to stop him. Can you send this evidence? President Martinez asked. Kalshar shook his head. My ship is too small. The Empire would stop my transmission before it reached the Council. Vex Telor, who had been granted asylum on Earth, stepped forward. But the Imperial ships themselves have powerful transmitters. If we could access one. So we have two options, Samantha summarized. Either sacrifice the Defiant in a direct attack, or somehow get onto an Imperial ship to send a message. Lieutenant Pearson spoke up. Why not both? The Defiant attacks as a distraction, while a small team boards another ship to send the message. President Martinez looked at the clock. They had 50 minutes left. It's risky, she said, but it's our best chance. She turned to Captain Blackwood. Captain, prepare the Defiant for battle. To Lieutenant Pearson, she said, assemble your team. You'll need Vex Talor's help again. As everyone rushed to prepare, Samantha caught up with Pearson in the hallway. This mission is likely suicide, she said quietly. Pearson nodded. I know, but what choice do we have? None, Samantha admitted. She extended her hand. Good luck, Lieutenant. Pearson shook it firmly. For Earth. Outside, beyond the moon, the Imperial fleet waited. Dralfax watched the countdown clock with cold satisfaction. Soon the humans would surrender, or they would die. Either way, his position in the Empire would be secure. The U.S. Defiant moved quietly through space, approaching the Imperial fleet from behind the moon. On the bridge, Captain William Blackwood looked at his crew. What we do today will be remembered as long as humans exist, he said. Ready all weapons. Meanwhile, a small stealth ship carried Lieutenant Pearson, Lisa Rodriguez, Daniel Clark, and Vex Talor toward the edge of the Imperial fleet. They aimed for a communications ship that stayed back from the main battle group. That ship can send messages across the entire galaxy, Vex Talor explained. If we can reach it, we can tell everyone what the Empire is doing here. On his command ship, Dralfax watched the countdown clock. Only 10 minutes remained in his ultimatum to Earth. "Prepare all weapons," he ordered. "When time expires, we will fire on all targets at once." Suddenly, alarms sounded on his bridge. "Overseer, human ship approaching fast." Dralthax saw the Defiant racing toward his ship. "All ships, focus fire on that vessel." The Imperial fleet turned their attention to the Defiant, just as planned. The small stealth ship carrying Pearson's team reached the communications vessel unnoticed. "We're at the airlock," Daniel whispered into his radio, beginning to cut through. On the Defiant, Captain Blackwood watched the Imperial ships turn toward him. "Full speed ahead," he ordered. "Take us straight at the command ship." The Defiant dodged energy beams from the Imperial ships. Its shields glowed as they absorbed hits. The ship shook violently. "Shields at 40%, shouted an officer. Pearson's team made it inside the communication ship. Vex Talor led them through narrow corridors toward the main transmission room. "Two guards," Lisa whispered as they reached a corner. Pearson nodded. He pulled out a stun device and rolled it around the corner. There was a flash of light, and the guards fell to the floor. "Move quickly," Pearson said. "We don't have much time." They reached the transmission room and sealed the door behind them. Vex Talor rushed to the controls. "I need a few minutes to prepare the message," the alien said, all four hands working quickly. The Defiant continued its charge toward Dralthax's ship, taking heavy damage. "Shields failing," an officer called out. "Get us within range of the gravitational device," Blackwood ordered. The ship pushed forward, engines straining. When they were close enough, Blackwood gave the command. "Activate Dr. Sanders' device." Full power. A wave of distorted gravity shot out from the Defiant, hitting Dralthax's command ship. The Imperial shift shields failed instantly. "Now," Blackwood shouted. The Defiant fired all its weapons at once, targeting the exact weak points Vex Talor had revealed. The command ship's engines went dark, and its weapons stopped firing. In the communication ship, Vex Talor finished preparing the transmission. "Ready," he said to Pearson. "Send it," Pearson ordered. Vex Talor pressed the final control. The message shot out across the galaxy, video evidence of the Empire's illegal attack on Earth, along with Dralthax's threats to destroy civilian populations. "Message sent," Vex Talor said with satisfaction. "Every Imperial world will see this." On his crippled ship, Dralthax received terrible news. "Overseer, our communication ship is broadcasting to the entire Empire." "Stop them," he screamed. "We can't," the officer replied. "And we're receiving a priority message from the Imperial Council." Dralthax felt cold fear as the message played. The Imperial Council had seen the evidence. They ordered an immediate end to all hostilities against Earth. More Imperial ships were coming, not to help Dralthax, but to arrest him. Knowing his career and possibly his life were over, Dralthax made one last desperate move. "Target Earth's largest city," he ordered. "Fire everything we have left." But Captain Blackwood had anticipated this. The Defiant, despite heavy damage, positioned itself directly in the line of fire between the command ship and Earth. "All power to forward shields," Blackwood ordered. When Dralthax's ship fired, the Defiant took the full blast. The ship's shields failed completely, and parts of the hull broke apart. But they had stopped the attack from reaching Earth. 2 days later, ships from the Imperial Council arrived. They arrested Dralthax and opened formal diplomatic relations with Earth. In a ceremony at the United Nations, President Martinez signed a new treaty. Earth was recognized as a sovereign world, and a protected zone was established around the entire solar system. No Imperial ships could enter without permission. As Ambassador Kelshur said in the closing speech, "Today marks a new chapter in galactic history. Earth has proven that freedom is worth fighting for, no matter the odds." And across the galaxy, on worlds long oppressed by the Empire, people looked toward Earth with new hope.